I'm Tad Flaky.
I'm Willibet Flaky.
And this is Pointless Global News. On today's show, you won't believe what TSA agents are now allowing in carry-on luggage.
Then, in a related story, you won't believe what some folks are smuggling in their pants.
Next, MAGA man is caught shooting video in a public men's room. His explanation is as stupid as it is hilarious, not to mention illegal. That story later, but first. The skies are friendlier when seat 22B smells like supermarket poultry. The Transportation Security Administration, better known as the TSA, confirmed this week that there is no federal limit on the number of cooked rotisserie chickens an American may carry through airport security, a clarification the agency was forced to issue after a New York influencer walked through Newark Airport with one. The TSA's official statement, posted to social media, read in part, "Protein shakes, well, as long as they're under 3.4 ounces or less. But rotisserie chickens? Heck, as many as you can fit on your carry-on. It's all okay." Agency officials confirmed the wording had been reviewed by counsel and then by a second counsel, who is now in the parking lot reconsidering the life choices that brought him to this moment. Chloe Gray, the influencer in question, filmed her trip from Newark to California earlier this month for her TikTok audience, during which she described the still warm poultry as her designer bag and ate it on the flight. The video has been viewed by more than 453,000 people, with people in comments openly admitting that they will never be able to unsee it. Gray told reporters the chicken was about staying nourished, which is the kind of sentence usually filed under medical disclosure rather than fashion commentary. The TSA's response, sources confirm, was triggered by a wave of follow-up questions that the agency had hoped to never answer in writing. These included how many chickens exactly, whether the chickens can be transported in an infant carrier, and whether a married couple could declare a single rotisserie chicken as a dependent. "It is permitted," said a spokesperson who declined to give their name, out of what they described as professional self-preservation. "We just ask the travelers be respectful of the cabin environment." The spokesperson then paused in what witnesses described as the longest pause of this press cycle before adding, "Once again, please respect the cabin environment." Other travelers were less diplomatic. One man on Gray's Newark flight told reporters that the hot meat in an enclosed space was a social contract violation, a phrase the Federal Aviation Administration is reportedly considering codifying as a regulatory category. The rotisserie chicken rule itself is not new. Solid foods such as raw poultry, cooked poultry, jerky, and what the TSA website calls with unnerving familiarity, Thanksgiving leftovers, have always been allowed in carry-ons without limit. Gravy, however, remains subject to the 3.4-ounce liquid rule, a distinction that several food scientists believe is the last thread holding our country together. The TSA's clarification has not, the agency stressed, opened any new doors. It merely confirmed that a door already existed, that the door was always unlocked, and that the door opens onto a plane where a stranger is eating a whole chicken with their hands. So, Lilibet, what do you say that the next time we go on a flight, we take one of those Sam's Club rotisserie chickens?
Sounds like a great idea.
It'd be
I'm
so
hungry
yummy.
just thinking about it.
So much better than the candy and peanuts that they make you eat on a flight.
And you know, I love to watch these airport security shows. I'll tell you what's not allowed: chicken feet.
That's right. Don't you dare do that.
2 people were arrested at Rafael Núñez International Airport in Cartagena, Colombia, on May 13th after officers found 3 baby monkeys in their underwear and what airport authorities are calling the least anticipated bag check of the year this side of Florida. The 26-year-old man and 27-year-old woman had been trying to fly to the Dominican Republic with a brown spider monkey hidden in the man's underwear and 2 white-faced monkeys in the woman's bra, according to police who had been hoping it would be drugs. Brown spider monkeys are critically endangered, which makes a pair of underwear possibly the worst available smuggling mechanism for them. White-faced monkeys are likewise protected. Either passenger had declared any wildlife at check-in, which under Colombian aviation rules is required for any animal traveling in any container, including underwear. The applicable declaration form includes checkboxes for live birds, live mammals, live reptiles, and an other live option, none of which the smugglers check because it's an overly obvious trap. They were caught anyway. Cartagena Metropolitan Police released a photo of the suspects with their faces blurred, which is thus far the only part of the operation being protected from public view. Both face charges of wildlife trafficking and illegal transportation of animals, in addition to the lingering open question of how either of them thought any of this was a brilliant idea. The monkeys are now in the care of Colombian wildlife authorities, which have presumably never been so quietly furious in their lives. And somewhere outside of Cartagena, a third would-be smuggler is probably sitting on a porch with a duffel bag full of underwear, trying to figure out how many monkeys will fit in it. What a horrible, cruel thing to do to these poor little monkeys.
And I can't imagine why they were doing it.
Oh, because they can fetch a pretty penny. They can sell them. Some people collect exotic animals, and since they are endangered, they probably could get a whole lot more money for them. But what a horrible thing to do to those poor little baby monkeys.
Yeah, I agree. That they shouldn't have to go through that. That's animal abuse of the worst kind. It
is.
Well, finally, man, those woke liberals, they're the worst. Always trying to push their agendas on people who just want America to be great again. Now there are perverts dressing up as women to try to get into locker rooms just as they can see naked people. Not like me. I'm documenting groomers, and I have to hit the men's room and ask questions to do my own research to bring down the deep state. Well, then so be it. That's more or less the thinking that Andrew Sheets must have had going through his head while infiltrating the Naples Pride Fest. Spoiler alert, it didn't work out the way he'd planned. Armed with a pair of meta glasses, Sheets went undercover to expose the grooming that was purportedly taking place at the event. What followed was a display of fearlessness, asking vendors and attendees at the event whether they thought it was a First Amendment violation for the streets to be blocked to keep protesters away. He didn't get the gotcha moment he was hoping for, as most replied that it likely had to do with the Proud Boys showing up at the event last year. Sheets made it into the men's room at one point in the video to utilize the facilities, perhaps the most tasteful part of the whole video. The footage captures others in the restroom, two of whom turned out to be undercover cops. They were shocked and embarrassed to see footage of themselves online. And it wasn't even Sheets' first run-in with the law that day. As he initially tried to bring a handgun to the event, he was stopped by security and brought his gun back to the car, but was later caught once again at the entrance with an AR-15. This guy's obviously one brick shy of a full load. Instead of owning up to his mistake and realizing that perhaps you shouldn't film anything in a restroom, Sheets doubled down, as one does. Yes, I did go in, he confessed. Public bathroom. Nobody was in there. I went to use the stall to pee. My intent was not to get pics like they're trying to say. The cops, especially the ones captured in this video, were not swayed by his defense. And he was charged with video voyeurism and video voyeurism dissemination. If he was trying to expose perverts, he did find one. It was the guy wearing meta glasses who recorded himself peeing and others in the restroom taking care of their business. The irony is difficult to ignore. Naples Pride said in a statement, "A man who publicly accused our community of grooming now stands accused of unlawfully recording people in a place where privacy is expected. And he's now really got to go to jail."
He really does have to go to jail. They need to lock him up. Lock him up.
Not going to say any more?
Nope. That's all I have to say about that.
I thought I might have listened a little
He's
more.
a pervert with a camera in a bathroom.
Yeah.
The thing speaks for itself.
Exactly. And that's going to be a wrap for another Pointless Global News. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tad Flaky.
I'm Lilibet Flaky.
Stay pointless, my friend.